Hey, hey.
Hey, Ray.
Rise and shine, cows. This is your host, Ray.
And this is your co host, Hey, and this is your Not So Average Gal podcast.
What are your updates?
Alrighty, so I have been back home for a couple of weeks now, probably about a week or two, and kind of getting back into the groove of everything, just being home now and not being on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I got everything unpacked and washed and put away, but I'm actually moving, so everything is getting unpacked from my suitcase and getting packed into a box. So there's still a lot more going on in my life.
Yeah.
But the vacation was so much fun. I'm so glad that I got to spend all that time with you and your husband and our dad. And if you didn't see the podcast with our dad, go make sure you go watch part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
um,
Can you believe we're already on episode 11?
I cannot believe that. The fact that we've gotten this far, we've stuck with it, we've stayed on time, we've posted every Monday. I'm proud
Mm-hmm.
of
That's
us.
11 weeks that we've been doing this.
It is. It is a lot of weeks. And, especially with all of my traveling, we've been
Mm-hmm.
able to stay on top of it and, get our podcasts out on time for all of you viewers to watch. And yeah, I'm really proud of us and how we've stuck with this, unlike
Yeah,
our past YouTube channels.
right. Me too.
Yeah, but so much fun just going out and going shopping with you. That is one thing I have missed a lot.
Yeah.
And another thing that was a lot of fun was just being able to go out to eat with you and your husband and, just go out places. And it was so much fun that you guys got to meet my boyfriend and, traveling with him for the first time. That was, actually a pretty good experience. The way there was, no problems.
Mhm.
The way back, though, that was a little different. Um, our plane got delayed, and so there was a lot of, okay, let's check, where our plane is supposed to be, like what gate it's supposed to be at. And I don't know if you ever heard it, but it's like you want to make sure that you're with the right person, be in a high stress environment, basically. And everyone is like, airports, that's what makes or breaks it. And even though like we had a very easy airport experience,
Mhm.
but hey, we made it through the airport phase, so so far so good.
Yeah. Was it
um,
just stressful because it got delayed, or because it got delayed and you knew that you were going on another trip right like as soon as you got home?
yeah, so that because the day that we get home, we had to leave to catch a pre-planned like car to go on another trip, and it was
Mhm.
leaving at 8 a.m. and we were supposed to land at the airport at 12 and get home around 4 a.m. So it was going to give us 4 hours to get ready, but our plane got delayed and we didn't leave until 12 a.m. And so that was 3 hours plus our three and a half ish hour drive home. So we had 30 minutes to pack. And this is running off of airport sleep, like airplane sleep. It's terrible sleep. And,
Yeah.
still driving back, we're switching every hour. So that way one
Mhm.
of us can sleep and the other can drive. Because, gosh, the drive home is so boring. Like, that drive will put you right to sleep. And so, just like that stress. And then our gate moved, and we thought that we missed the plane because on our tickets it says, um, that the plane was supposed to leave at, I think it was 9 p.m. And it was, at first it said this gate, and, we're at that gate. And then I said, let's just check it again. Let's just make sure. And it's 9:39, or excuse me, no, 10:30.
Mhm.
So, because we were waiting until 12 when that was the new leaving time. And so we checked the tickets online, and so now the gate has moved. but the time still says 9 o'clock. Like, we missed our flight home. And so he runs real quick to go see it. He's like, oh no, like everyone is still here. There's that board that, has the flight, with the
Mhm.
numbers and time that it leaves. And we're like, oh, glad that we checked that again, because otherwise we would have missed it. Because I was so curious. I was like, why is there us and like one other couple sitting at, this area for this plane? And because I was like, well, some people could be like at restaurants and stuff, but restaurants were starting to close at that time. And, some people are getting off of their plane at this seating area. And so then it's making me think, so is the plane here now? I was so confused. But
Hmm.
luckily, we checked those boarding passes and we probably sat at the other side for another hour, hour and a half. So, and that plane wasn't even full. So that was really nice. So we got to sit next to each other on the way back home. But
That's good.
yeah, and I've never gone through an airport without our mom. And so it's like just like knowing that like I don't actually know what I'm doing, because I don't know, I'm just like a little follower. Like, I know that you have to check the bag and you have to get your tickets and you have to go through TSA and everything, but I'd never done it on my own. So I feel like just that on its own creates more stress, just going to the airport in general. So, and he's never been on a plane, without family. So just for the both of us, we're figuring it out. Airports are just high stress in general. But
Yeah.
luckily for us, it wasn't too bad, except for, the way back. We're like, oh my God, I think we missed our plane. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good experience.
Yeah. How is it going from like 80-degree weather to 60-degree weather?
Very different. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, it was about 80, 85 when I left here to come down to Washington. And I kept forgetting that it's going to be colder when we got there.
Hmm.
And, but luckily, like I remembered, I was like, okay, I need to bring more pants than shorts. And I know I want to bring a bathing suit just in case there's a warm day that I can go to the lake. And I'm glad that I did, because we did end up having a lake day. But yeah, it was sunny. Gosh, when we got to the airport, it was 90 degrees at 3 a.m., I think, because I think our flight was around like around 5 a.m. So we got there around 3 a.m. It was 90 degrees out, and that's in the morning. And then when we landed in Washington, it was raining. It's
Hmm.
probably 50 degrees, 55
Yeah.
degrees out. And it was so different. Like, I was so cold the entire time. And like the only time that I wasn't really cold was when we're at the lake, because that was the nicest day.
Hmm.
And so it's like I got hot, I'd go cool off in the water, and then I'd go back, do some tanning or whatever. And
Yeah.
other than that, like I think it rained or I think it was 3 days while we were there. And we had a nice gloomy day where there was all kinds of fog.
Yeah.
And then the other days, it was like sun's out, not too hot, not too cold, still like tank top and maybe like pants weather, not necessarily
Hmm.
like tank top and shorts and stuff. So, but it was a lot of fun, and it was kind of nice. That way we could walk around and not sweat the whole time and just can't wait to get into another store.
Do you have any tips for like packing for different weather, like going from somewhere that's really hot to somewhere that might be cooler?
Um, I mean, definitely just check your weather app and
Mhm.
for wherever you're going. Um, Definitely bring one of everything, even if it's supposed to be gloomy and rainy the whole time wherever you're going. Bring a pair of shorts and a
Yeah.
pair of sandals. And if it's supposed to be sunny the whole time, bring a pair of pants and a pair of shoes. If it rains.
Hmm.
So definitely just pack for everything. If you're not sure if you're gonna go swimming, just bring the bathing suit. It's one thing. It saves you from $20, having to go to Target. And honestly, if you're going to Target, it's more than $20 now. But just pack it. That's all I have to say is just pack it.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for like just traveling in general, like planning like this day I'm going to do this and this day we're going to have just for rest because we'll be tired from this day or anything like that?
So I will say for the traveling part, maybe like going to the airport or, going anywhere, just be early. Like the airport, I like to be 2 to 3 hours early, before the flight is supposed to leave. So I don't have to run to wherever I'm going. I like to try to keep any situation I can the least stressful that I can.
Yeah.
Um, but when it comes to doing activities and planning a day for rest, I don't do that. I say, I want to go here, here, and here. I make a list in my notes app of where I want to go, but also if you're going to a high tourist, attraction place, make your reservations for wherever you want to go. Definitely don't forget to do that. Um, but I was going home. There's nowhere that I needed to make reservations. I wanted everything to just kind of be very chill. And if today we want to go for a hike, we're gonna go for a hike. If today we want to, relax, we're just gonna relax. And honestly, like that's one of my favorite things to do is just play it all by ear. But
Mhm.
definitely if it's something, you got to make your reservations, then plan around that maybe. Whatever reservations you have, just work with those first and then everything else will just kind of fall into place. And definitely
Yeah.
don't pack your schedule for one day to be too busy because then it's not as much fun. You want to spend 3 hours in this one spot, but now you can't because you have to go somewhere else because that entire day is packed so full and it just makes it too stressful.
Mhm. I'm completely different.
Tell me
uh
your side.
like so I have a trip coming up to see you
Mhm.
and I haven't planned out everything, but I like to be specific on what I'm doing that day just
Mhm.
to make sure I don't forget to do anything kind of, and I like knowing what I'm doing the next day, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like I know that one day we're going to go out of town and there's just going to be a bunch of stuff that we're going to do, and it's not like I'm timing like we have to be here at a certain time and here at a certain time,
Mhm.
but more like I know like where I want to eat and like that kind of thing. And so I want to make sure that I get to eat at all those places that I want to eat because we don't have those kinds of places like where I live. And so like planning like of course it's all like we don't have to do it that day, but it's definitely in my notes app to like well we're already going to be on this side of town so we might as well eat here this day and then like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like activities. I want to have it planned out so I know that I have to go to this store to get the supplies to do this activity before I get there so that way it's all set up. Like I like to kind of plan that way
Mhm.
just to make sure that we don't miss out on doing the things that we wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely understand that. I'm a very spontaneous person. So, you know, it could be that morning and I'm like, today's going to be our rest day. But I won't stick to that. I can tell everybody that I'm going to rest that day, but I'll still go out if I decide that there's something I want to do. But that's one reason why I like to just put everything in my notes so then I can just kind of go through it
Mhm.
and pick, okay, tomorrow we should do this, this, and this. And if we have time, we'll do this too. But if not, it's not a big deal. And
Yeah.
another thing that I just always throw something else in. I'm like, I totally forgot that this is right here. Even throughout the whole planning and
Mhm.
writing down everything that I want to do, I'll still forget something. And so I'll see it or I'll think of it and nice little detour in my day. We're gonna go play with baby cows instead of doing something else. So
Yeah.
I've never been one to stick to plans. So
Yeah. And I can definitely be spontaneous like if we're passing by something that looks really fun or like It's not
Mhm.
like a super strict plan.
Mhm.
It's just kind of just so we don't accidentally miss anything.
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand that.
Do you have any like horrible hotel experiences?
Um, I don't think so, especially just because 'cause I've never stayed at a hotel alone or anything before. So I can't say I have. I think the worst thing that's ever happened to me was I was on my senior trip, and it was 4 of us girls staying in one hotel room in California, and the AC wasn't working, so it was really hot and muggy in the room. So we just got a new room, and it was completely fine. I say that's the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. I can think of one where me and Zach were staying. It was our honeymoon, and we had went online and like did some research on where we wanted to stay. So kind of so we could be downtown, just like walking and whatnot. And so we found this one, and all the pictures were like great. Like we looked at pictures, we looked at reviews, and like that kind of thing.
Mhm,
It was terrifying. We got there at like 12 o'clock in the morning, I think.
mhm,
So it was like really late, either 11 or 12.
mhm.
And we get there, and at first we walk into like the check in area, and online it said it was a hotel, but it was definitely a motel.
Oh, man.
And yeah. And so we get there, and there is a lady in there, kind of like going back and forth with what do you call that person that stands up front? Somebody just working the front desk.
Mhm,
And um so they were like going back and forth because they wouldn't let her pay with this card that she had. And so it was kind of like awkward because we were just standing there and it's like super late at night and she's having to find a different hotel to go to and
mhm,
all of that kind of stuff. And so we get checked in and we go to the room. And mind you, on our drive there, we passed like 7 cop cars with all their lights going.
oh,
Like
man.
they were going super fast. They definitely needed to be somewhere.
Yeah.
And then we get there and we're walking to our door, and this is on the outside, and we hear like this helicopter going over us,
Oh, man.
and then we couldn't get the door open, and my husband like body checked the door so we could get in, and we're like, oh my gosh. And
Oh.
we go in, and there's like, we pull back the bedding to
Mhm.
look at like the sheets, and there's stains in the bed. And I had to use the bathroom. And so I go in there, and there's still like pee on the toilet seat. And it was really gross. There's like hair on the floor, like they didn't sweep or anything. And
Mhm.
so we were like, we're not staying here tonight. We couldn't
Right.
do it. So I think one of my biggest piece of advice is always check like where you're staying and double check everything with it.
Mhm. Wow. I don't think I've ever heard that story before either.
Really?
Yeah, I swear you've never told me that. Ugh, that does
I was
not.
wrong. It wasn't our honeymoon. It was for my birthday.
Oh, was it?
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
thank
it's
you.
just what's that?
I said, "No, thank you."
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. And it was just like a short stay,
Mhm.
but even with that, we couldn't do it.
Mhm. Yeah, man. I'd go find another hotel that same night. Yeah.
We sat in the hotel room calling other hotels like, do you have any rooms? Because mind you, it's also the middle of summer, so
Mhm.
everything is like expensive and booked
Mm.
already.
Yep. Oh, man, I guess it's a good thing I have a winter birthday.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Alrighty, Ray. So to switch up the topics a little bit, how did it feel for me to come home for a little bit?
It was awesome. It made me feel really happy. It was like not so going from the last time that I had saw you was my wedding day, and then
Mhm.
we both left. It was kind of like And I already talked about this a little bit, but it was like I didn't really realize that you were gone until I got home. But it wasn't like a really big change, I suppose. And then now that you've come back, now I just miss hanging out with you because we got to hang out for like almost a week together,
Mhm.
and we got to go shopping and do all the fun stuff. So now it's like I'm always thinking, I wish Haley was here. And like, of course, I thought that before you came out, but just having you here for a short time on vacation, I'm super excited to see you again. And that'll be awesome because we get to see each other 2 times over the summer.
Right. Yeah, I'm so excited, and it was so much fun to be able to come home, and I know exactly what you mean. Like, I wish that I could just go over to Raina's house and go watch a movie with her and play with Eddie and, go shopping. And I mean, now we have FaceTime again. And so,
Yeah.
going to watch movies together just in your living room and, stuff like that. But you never know. And I'm just glad that you're going to be able to come out and visit me too. And, like you said, twice in 1 year.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think it's like just coming back to having the podcast, I just think it's so special because we get to do this with each other for like, we record for like an hour
Hmm.
and then, well, maybe not that long, but we talk for like an hour because we talk before and after we do the podcast. So just
Exactly.
sitting here, just being able to talk and see each other is really nice.
It is. Yeah. And it's like, it's one of those things that you'll just kind of call me and then we just talk for an hour or two. It's like, well, we should probably get on with our day or, go to bed, go make dinner, whatever we're doing. And
Hmm.
I feel like those are always the best conversations, though, is when it's like, I need to call Raina and ask her a question, or you just call me for, whatever it is, and we just talk.
That was so funny. Yeah, last night we talked for like 2 hours, and I
Mhm.
told you that I was gonna get Taco Bell, and then I changed my mind, and I sent you a picture of my dinner, and I said bone apple teeth. Did
Yeah.
you get it right when I sent it to you?
Yeah, I got it. I think on
Okay,
purpose. Did you send it on purpose or accident?
on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was funny. And then she said, "Bon appetit." She's like, "Get it?" I'm like, "Uh-huh."
uh, I don't know if I saw that somewhere. I probably saw it on TikTok.
Mhm. It's like something a little kid would say, like, "Bon appetit," or something like that. They don't
Yeah,
actually know what it is.
yeah.
Just heard somebody in
I
the
was
movie
laughing
say
at
it.
myself. Sorry, what you
Oh, like some little kid just hears it in a movie and
did?
tries to
Yeah,
interpret it as bon appetit.
yeah. Oh, that was funny.
Mhm.
Another thing that was really cool is when we went to one of our local boutiques and the owner was like, "Oh yeah, I've been listening to your podcast." And that was just so sweet and I honestly really did not expect it.
Right? I know, because she's so nice, and she's definitely the kind of person that would support, like, another small business or, somebody just starting out with, like, a podcast, and it
Mhm.
it was such a cool experience because we've never just ran into somebody that wasn't, like, your husband or our dad or our mom that was like, "What
Mhm.
a great podcast." Of course, they're gonna say that,
Yeah.
but when it's, somebody that you just I mean, we kinda know her because we shop at her little store, but, just to hear somebody else, like, wow, somebody else does actually listen to our podcast, like, that's so cool.
Yeah. And it was so nice of her to like bring it up.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly, and, like, I know that, we all kind of follow each other on social media, but I feel like also when you're so busy, starting up your own small boutique like what she's doing, because she just opened it probably, what, a year or 2 ago? And, you're still, working everything out with your small store, and she still has the time to, listen to our podcast, and she barely knows us. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like we've known her forever or we're best friends. She just kinda knows of us. She follows us on Instagram and, actually listens to our podcast. And I think that's really cool.
Mhm. Yeah, it was like it was a great compliment.
It was. Yeah.
Okay, have you been on like the mom side of TikTok where they're like posting to get 10,000 followers?
I have not seen that.
Really?
Yeah.
We're like, okay, well, I thought you would have seen it though.
I'm on the beach side of TikTok. The
The beach
Florida
side?
side. The beach side.
Huh. Okay, well, anyways, so there's a lot of like moms or like people like it's like a trend basically to get to 10,000 followers or like there's a trend to like pay off your debt. And I'm not exactly sure if it's like the same trend,
Hmm.
but it's kind of the same trend.
Right.
Anyways, I saw somebody posted today and it was like you guys need to be more creative and like that kind of thing. And like it they're just on the wrong side of TikTok that they don't want to be on.
Yeah. It's like if you don't like the video, just keep scrolling. When you watch
Yeah.
the whole video, that's when you get more like it.
Mhm. Or like liking and reposting and stuff.
Exactly. Because, like, I find, like, today, I scrolled on TikTok for like 2 hours, really
Mhm.
bad. But I found myself, like, watching all of these, like, pet, like, compilations, right? And I was like, why am I seeing so many of these? I'm like, because I'm watching the whole thing through. And once I started scrolling past them, I wouldn't see any more of them. So it's
Mhm.
like, it's once you start watching the whole thing that you start getting more of them. And so when I just scroll and scroll and scroll, then I get a little bit of everything. So
Mhm. Yeah, I just thought it was funny cuz like the algorithm follows like what you watch and like
Mhm.
what you like and what you repost. So if you're liking and reposting all of them, then like my page is full of it, but I
Mhm.
don't mind. If
Mhm.
I don't want to see it, I'll scroll past it.
Exactly. And then when you take the time to comment on it, you're just gonna see more of them.
Mhm.
So, and I mean, you're spending more time on that video when you're commenting as well. It's like, just
Yeah.
keep scrolling.
Yeah.
Unless you're giving a positive, comment, but at that point you like the video, so why keep watching it?
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
yeah.
So, I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. Like not
Yeah.
funny haha, but
Funny weird. Oh, man.
anyways, I have some question cards. Are you ready?
Ready.
What's something that everyone looks stupid doing?
Okay, I saw this TikTok and I actually thought it was funny. So it's not necessarily like that you look stupid, but I think it's funny. So these girls were talking and they're like, you know what gives me the biggest ick? When a guy is chasing the ping pong ball on the ground. Like, like if you're playing like cut pong or something like that and you're going after the ball and they're on the ground trying to catch it and they're running after it. I thought that was so funny. And I mean, like, that doesn't really like bother me. Like, if somebody was to like go, chase a ping pong ball on the ground or whatever, because like I look exactly the same. I don't
Uh-huh.
look any better chasing a ping pong ball. I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah. I was thinking about it and I think like, around like Halloween time when you bob for apples,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can do that and make it look good.
Mm-mm. Especially like you're bobbing in the water and you have wet hair and you kind of looking like a wet dog.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's funny.
How did your parents decide what to name you?
Um, well, I was supposed to have like two different names, and they just didn't like either of them. One of them is now my middle name, so I don't know how that happened. I really wish it was my first name. I feel like it's such a better name, but I feel like
Really?
yeah, I like my middle name better than I like my first name.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I kind of just don't like my first name, and I've only ever met like one or two other Savannahs. That's my middle name, and I feel like it's so like it's just more fitting to me. I feel like, but you know, I've had people like, well, why don't you just go by that? Nobody knows me as that. Like, I mean, a lot of people change their names, and that's completely fine. But to me, it's like I already have a first name. Might as well just stick to it. Unless I move to another country, then I'm taking my middle name.
I mean, you are moving. You could just tell everyone your name's Savannah.
But I mean, if I moved to another country where nobody knew me, because like my whole thing is if I was like, okay, Ray, my name is Savannah now. It's gonna take you forever to remember that, and you know how like bad I'd feel every time like, actually, that's not my name anymore. My name is Savannah now, and you're like, no, it's not. Like, just 18 years, that's not my real name. So I'm like, if I ever moved to another country, my first name is Savannah, but as long as I'm around people that have known me by my first name forever, might as well just stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell like if you make like new friends where you're going,
Yeah, I
but they
could,
would know it's
but
different.
yeah, I just feel like at that point it's like, oh, you want to come over and hang out, and then my mom calls me by my first name, and they're like, "What's your name?" Like, I feel like it just gets so confusing.
Hmm. I know people that go by like both of them. Like actually, I don't think you do know. I won't say their name, but they go by their middle name, and it's not like they're always correcting people. Like they just go by both. Like you could be called Savannah or you could be called Haley.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I don't
I never
know.
knew that.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've always liked my middle name better than my first name.
Hmm. I think both of them are cute.
Thank you.
I like I like your first name because our names go together.
Yeah, I do like that part of it. Um, I mean, I feel like just because there's only one letter difference, when we do like our nice little nicknames we like to do. But even, Sav, like that's still three letters. Like, it's still, you can make a nickname out of it.
Hmm.
But
I
I
just
don't
mean
know.
like sorry.
You good?
I was just gonna say because my name is Raina, your name is Haley, and so it's like rain and hail.
Yeah.
I think I think that's why I think it's cute.
Yeah. I know, like it's fun, but it's so funny. Even like, what is it? The medieval meaning for it is hey. Like, yours,
Really?
yours is queen, and I'm hey. Like, we're talking queen and peasant. Like, that is what that reminds me of.
No. Aw.
I don't know. I think it's funny. Like, and I mean, it doesn't bother me. It's just a name, and I mean, like for you, you're like, oh, hey, hey, and it's like, hey, Ray, and then, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. Like I said, unless I move to another country because I can somehow, then I'll go by like Savannah because it's still technically a part of my name, and I
Mhm.
don't have to go through like whatever, but or trying to maybe forget it. At least I
I
was
bet
Haley Savannah. That Savannah still clicked in there.
yeah.
Oh,
I
or
bet that once you like if you did do that, like if you did move to a different country and go by Savannah, I bet you'd be like, "Hi, my name's Savannah."
uh-huh. But are you sure? You
Yeah.
so confused on your name. Like,
Yeah.
that's another thing I'd be afraid of is I'd tell one person that my name's Haley and the other person my name's Savannah and they'll go talk to each other and be like, hey, have you met Savannah? No, but I met Haley. Like, that's not what my name is.
Aw. All right. Well, that's all for today. If you like this episode, please tell a friend and be sure to come back next Monday for our newest episode.
And this is your Not So Average Gal podcast signing out. See ya.